A warm hello and welcome. I'm Coach Ray, your go-to for narration and conversations on topics that keep you alive and well-ish. Follow me for practical tips, expert insight, and motivational stories to help you build a better life. Thank you for joining me today. I thought it would be fun to start the year with a conversation about the ego, or in this case, the mosaic of what constitutes the ego. In this video, I'll be reading the blog post that I wrote titled, "The We Inside Me." Are you intrigued? Maybe a little confused? Let me share more. Are you ready? Let's go! Ever catch yourself saying, "We really need to get it together," even though you're only talking to yourself? Same. It might feel quirky or even a little odd to refer to yourself as a we, but what if this casual self-dialogue is more than just a figure of speech? What if it's a reflection of how the human mind actually works? A dynamic inner ecosystem composed of different roles, identities, and voices. This idea, which aligns with many psychological, philosophical, and even spiritual traditions, suggests that the ego isn't a singular entity, but rather a mosaic of parts. Each part has a voice, a purpose, and a role to play. Understanding this concept doesn't just make us more self-aware, it can also transform how we navigate life's challenges. In the world of psychology, the idea of a singular, unified ego is far from universal. Models like internal family system, or IFS for short, and Jungian psychology offer compelling alternatives. Richard C. Schwartz's internal family systems theory introduces the mind as a collection of subpersonalities, or parts, each with its own agenda. The protectors shield us from emotional harm. Think of that voice that says, "Don't try, you might fail." Exiles carry painful memories or emotions we'd rather forget. And the managers keep us functional and organized, often cracking the whip to ensure we meet deadlines. In the center of this inner family lies the self with a capital S, a compassionate, wise mediator capable of harmonizing these parts. Recognizing and listening to these voices can turn inner chaos into collaboration. Carl Jung, meanwhile, spoke of the persona, the mask we show to the world, and the shadow, which houses the parts of ourselves we hide or suppress. Like the IFS framework, this suggests that we're not a single unified identity, but a collection of interacting selves. In Buddhism and Hinduism, the self isn't fixed. What we think of as I is a collection of ever-shifting thoughts, emotions, and experiences, a fluid process rather than a static entity. This perspective encourages detaching from rigid self-concepts and embracing the impermanence of identity. The spiritual teacher, George Gurdjieff, believed that we don't have a singular I, but countless small selves vying for our attention. One I might take charge during a work meeting, while another dominates during a night out with friends. The constant shifting creates an illusion of a cohesive ego, but in reality, it's more like a rotating cast of characters. Marvin Minsky, a cognitive scientist, proposed that the brain operates as a society of minds with specialized modules handling specific tasks. One module might govern social interactions, while another handles problem solving. These modules don't always communicate perfectly, leading to the internal push and pull that we all recognize. Neuroscience also distinguishes between the narrative self, the story we tell about who we are, and the experiential self, which lives in the moment. Feeling like different people at different times? That's just these two perspectives dancing around each other. Let's bring this closer to home. Think about how different you feel depending on the context. For example, your work self is confident and authoritative, while your home self might be relaxed and silly. When making decisions, the inner critic might clash with the dreamer, leaving you stuck in indecision. Perhaps I always knew this. When I talk to myself, even from a young age, I often refer to myself as we. While I'm in no way experiencing a split personality, I recognize that these parts, each with its own voice and role, must collaborate for me to accomplish anything meaningful. Viewing ego as the whole rock band rather than a solo artist can have an interesting effect on personal growth. Here's how it can help. Increase self-compassion. When inner conflict arises, it's often because the different parts of you are trying to protect or help in their own way. Recognizing this can reduce self-judgment and foster compassion. Improve decision-making. Listening to all your parts, your critic, dreamer, protector, and risk taker, ensures you're making well-rounded decisions that honor every perspective. Heal inner wounds. Acknowledging and integrating neglected or suppressed parts can bring a sense of wholeness. For instance, revisiting those exiles can help you confront and heal from past pain. Shifting from the idea of a singular ego to a dynamic inner ecosystem allows us to move beyond rigid self-concepts. In this case, there is a very beautiful I in your inner team. It invites you to embrace the fluid, ever-changing nature of being human. The next time you catch yourself saying, "We've got this," don't second guess it. That's your inner team coming together. After all, it takes a village, even within ourselves, to thrive. You just listened to me read the article that I wrote titled, "The We Inside Me." I'll share the original blog post below so you can explore further if you'd like. Thank you for joining me today. Remember, all of this is not about reaching a destination. It's about embracing the beautiful messiness of life and finding joy along the way. Take what you need, leave the rest, and until next time, stay well.